Signs all jacked up. There we go. Good morning mechanic sign. Oh, I'm gonna give this live stream about 10, 15 minutes. See who hops in here. There we go. Get a little closer. When you hop in, make sure you say hi. Um, Today we're going over the top 10 mechanic gift ideas. So, gonna be pretty dope. Yeah, cool little top 10. Um, got my list right here. So I started making the video, but the problem was the first time I made the video, my camera died. I gotta wipe off my glasses. So my camera died the first time, and then the second time, my heater died. I ran out of fuel, and it just got way too cold. It's like 20 degrees in there. So I was like, dude, no way, man. No way. I cannot do this in the cold. So, uh-oh. Now live. There we go. I just got a notification. So people uh should be in here relatively shortly. I don't know. The light is kind of weird uh where I'm sitting. I'm still working on figuring out the light setup. And it's not really high definition. It's kind of like low definition, bad definition. So um but yeah, we're gonna just give this a few minutes while people hop in here. Um, Again, I'm going over the top 10 gift ideas for mechanics or automotive enthusiasts. Let's see here. I got the live chat is up. There we go. Uh, da, da, da. I'm trying to pull this up as well on my phone to make sure make sure I can hear it, make sure it sounds good. Oh yeah, there it is. Good morning, Mechanic Live. How's it sound? How's it sound? Sounds good. Sounds good. But it does not show me on my computer that anybody's in here. That's weird. So it is what it is. Okay, there it is. It said one person watching now. But I think that's me. So I'm gonna go ahead and get out of there. So welcome. Make sure you say hi in the chat. Today we're going over the top 10 gift ideas for mechanics and automotive enthusiasts. So the very first thing on the list. We go. Very first thing on the list is a mechanic tool set. So that mechanic tool set right now they have Black Friday deals at Home Depot and Lowe's, and even some of these stores, some of these auto repair stores that are just crazy, crazy right now. There's $200 tool sets that are you know that are on sale right now for $99. Um, I saw a Husky one. I saw a Craftsman. I've seen all sorts of all sorts of tool sets. Milwaukee, DeWalt. They're all on Black Friday sales right now. Home Depot and Lowe's, they have their like Black Friday area set up. There are some actually really good deals. They have them, basically the same type of stuff every year, but they improve their technologies. The ones the ones that I saw at Home Depot, the Husky ones, they now have a plastic case. Oh, here comes the dog. Um, his old limp, broken butt. He's like 13 years old. Um, so yeah, they have like a plastic case and they have a spot for every single socket. So and it's built into the case. And it's super good, very organized, very efficient. It's going to keep you organized and efficient. So yeah, number one that I recommend is like a tool set, either a full tool set or like you can even look on their website for a mechanic tool set. I now have a whole tool set available. So next, number two on the list is air impacts. So or air wrenches, air tools, basically. Um, some of some of my best tools that I use most often are the air ones. You know, like that sort of stuff. Um, I have I've been blessed enough to be gifted a few. I have an air wrench, an air ratchet. Sometimes they're not. Sometimes you want to break them loose by hand, so you don't snap them off. Um, but yeah, good set of air tools. Start off small and slow. Um, I know Astro Tools makes a good set of smaller air wrenches. If you're popping in the chat, please say hi. Make sure so I can give a shout out. And so number two, well, we already covered the number one mechanic tool sets, where they're on sale, and how to get some of the tool sets. Like right now, Home Depot, Lowe's, they have crazy Black Friday deals on mechanic tool sets. And they're really good sets. It's like 120, 140 piece set for $99. And every drawer has a cutout. You set them out there. It's pretty good. Number two was the air impacts. So I have a couple air impacts. Orion makes good air impacts. Astro Tools makes good air impacts. Those are highly recommended. I can put in the full video that I have to remake. Uh, I'll put a link in the bio to Amazon to everything, so that if you guys want to purchase it off of that link, it'll help the channel, and you're getting something that I actually use, and I use them all the time. So number three on my list, I have to go with the air impact tools. I have an actual air compressor. So I have a small pancake style air compressor, and really for most jobs, it's all you need. Um, if you're living in the Rust Belt, or if you're doing something a little more stationary, like you're not doing mobile mechanic stuff, and you have a garage where you're gonna use like a higher flow device, like an air hammer, then you want to get a little bit bigger of a air compressor. I have a little pancake one. I've had it for I don't even know years, 4 years, 5 years, something like that. And I love it. It's only a couple times been a little too small. Um, when I'm using my die grinder, it goes fast. So if you're gonna use die grinder, if you're gonna use hammer tools, get a bigger air compressor. All right, so that's number three. Number four on the list, I have creep. It's like a double creeper or ramps, jacks, jack stands, and then a bonus for number four. So the thing is, with creepers getting under your car, it's kind of a pain in the butt when you have to roll. If you're working on gravel and stuff, creepers really don't work that well. So you have to have a firm uh, a firm base. You can put if you're working on gravel, you can put a piece of plywood down or some wood, and then you can use a creeper. It's basically the thing you lay down on, and it's got wheels. So the creeper is great. Ramps, I have 4 ramps in my garage, and they work awesome. Eventually, over time, they do wear out. They get little hair fractures and stuff. You just gotta throw them away, get a new set of ramps. My first set of ramps lasted me about 5 years, and I used it constantly, and they're still good, but they have some fractures, and I don't really trust using them. So I got a new set of ramps and jacks. Definitely get a good jack, and I have a Husky jack, but Harbor Freight makes good jacks. The Daytona jacks are pretty good, the low profile ones. Husky, that it's a good jack. Never had an issue with it. Been using it for years. A lot of people they crap on some of these brands, but at the same time, it's like I've never had a problem, and I've lifted up pickup trucks. So, um, definitely a good jack, and then jack stands, T stands, and don't cheap out on your stands because that's those are safety devices. You don't want a cheap set of stands. Just get the thicker ones. Harbor Freight has good stands. Um, I got my stands from I used Duralast. I got a couple Duralast stands. Those are for like tiny little cars. They are not for bigger vehicles. And then so I bought I forget what they are, like 6 or 10 ton big Husky stands on Black Friday one year. I got a good deal at Home Depot, so it works, and it works for me. It'll work for a lot of people. And it's super easy to move in and out of your car if you're doing mobile mechanic stuff, or if you're doing if you're just trying to be mobile. Um, Go to a buddy's house. Yeah, those little jack stands, they work out great. So like I said before, I see a couple people hopping in. So make sure you say hi in the comments. So I can say hi to you. So, the bonus for number 4 is actually if you don't have stands. Which I just dropped some. If you don't have stands, if you don't have a jack, if you don't have enough space in your garage, is to actually you can get a mechanic or the DIY enthusiast in your life a subscription to a DIY garage or access to a DIY garage. It's not that expensive. It's far cheaper than taking it to a shop or a dealership. And you can do the vast majority of your maintenance in those shops. Our local DIY shop is Wingman Garage here in Wadsworth, Ohio. It's the only shop like that around here. And I tell you what, I'm there all the time. I have all my friends. I tell all my friends go there. I tell everybody um, that I can to go there because working on your car is not only easier if you have a lift, but it's easier if you have a buddy with you, and that's what the Wingman Garage is. So it's there's a person with you that helps you along the way. I mean, you gotta be able to do it yourself, but they're there right there if you need help, an extra hand, um, a tool. You know, it's like having a buddy in your garage. So yeah, getting access to something like that. If you're in Northeast Ohio, highly recommend a subscription to Wingman Garage. And I think you buy it by the hour is what you do over there. So yeah, get those are really really good gifts, and um, especially the subscription to a DIY garage. So number 5, we're kicking off with we're going with work lights. Number 5, we're doing work lights. So I have several different work lights. One of them I have it's like a headlamp that I got for Christmas a few years ago. So it's a headlamp and it has LEDs across the forehead. That's super handy. Not incredibly bright, but very handy. The other ones I have one that's tethered to the roof of my garage, and it has a cord, and I just pull the cord down, kind of like a air hose. I just pull the cord down, and it has a magnet on it, and it's I've been using that light. Actually, I got that one for Christmas too. So, and that was a great addition to my garage. So, um, yeah, that one's super good, super handy, because when I'm done with it, it just goes back up to the ceiling, and it's plugged into the ceiling, so I don't even have to charge it. And then the other light I use, is a Astro Tools. It's a rechargeable light. They're super, super bright. I think they're like 10,000 lumens or something crazy, but drains the battery really fast. So, and then you gotta keep them plugged in. It takes a little bit to charge them. So they're great for temporary stuff, um, but they're not gonna last you all day. So, I mean, it just depends on what you're looking for. But definitely number 5 was work lights. I've seen some cool lights that go across the whole hood of your car, so that it's super bright into the engine bay. Those are good. Uh, I can't remember if Astro makes those. There's a company that makes those, and they're like battery powered, so um, those could be really good lights. Then so keep an eye on the lumens. Make sure it's super bright, super high lumens. LEDs are always good, um, and they fare well in the cold. So in the cold garage, but the batteries don't. So just keep that in mind. Um, Number 5, work lights. Number 6, I'm getting a call from my mom. Mom, I'm gonna have to call you back. I'm doing a live stream. So I'll call her right back. I'm sorry. I know that's rude. I should answer this. Um, yeah, I'll text her. So number 6 I have is uh-oh. Hang on one second. All right. Number 6, we have code readers. So I have another video. It was actually kind of a sponsored video from Innova, the 5610 code scanner. And that scanner is a super, super good scanner. It's bidirectional, has bidirectional controls. You can action a lot of things, do a lot of things. and And yeah, that Innova 5610 scanner is really good. I use it all the time, almost on anything that I'm trying to do diagnostics, and highly recommend that scanner. That video, there's a discount code in that video, so if you did want to get any of the Innova products on their website, that code in that video is actually for 10% off or 20% off. Yeah, go watch that video. It's in one of my I think it's the tool review playlist in on my playlist. So yeah, it's any sort of code reader, diagnostic tools, and those work out really great. And then any sort of Innova product, they have a discount code for Good Morning Mechanic. So yeah, check out that other video, get a code scan reader, even if it's a littler one. It doesn't have to be the Innova 5610 because that's a really expensive, super advanced code scanner diagnostic tool. You can get they make smaller ones and use the discount code, and you'll get percentage discount off of even the smaller ones. So really nice. So number 6, code reader, code scanner, some sort of diagnostic computer. You can also get it's not a sponsor of the channel, but you can get a subscription to like My All Data, where you can get an All Data um, subscription. That's a pretty cool little tool. Basically, it breaks down. It's like a Haynes manual, but it's all digital, it's all online, and that's really helpful if you're trying to diagnose your own car. So that's a good one too. All right, so the next one, number 7, we have let's see here. We have good morning, everybody, and happy Thanksgiving. Oh, snap. So portable battery operated air pump for tires. Ooh, that's a good one. That is a good one. Yeah, we'll talk about that here in a second. So good morning, Blue Dog Gamer de 4M. Um, that's a good idea too. So so number 7, I have the Valvo Max oil change kit. So if you have someone who is just getting started or they're doing all the oil changes, all the fluid flushes for your vehicles, get them the quick oil change system from Valvo Max because I'm telling you, I installed it on both of my cars, and it is a huge game changer. There's 0 mess. It's a tube, and, I have a video coming out on that in the future, and, there is a promo code for Valvomax. Maybe I'll put it in a post, um, because I've been using Valvomax stuff for years. People don't even know about the company really, like, I don't know, um, but I've been using their funnels, their disposable funnels for a really long time, and I realized that they have a whole quick change system. It's basically a hose you plug into an adapter, and it just drains your oil. That's it. No splashes, no mess. Drains your oil into a bag. You just take that bag, you drain the bag, and you reuse that bag forever. So, yes, huge shout out to Valvomax. They are a sponsor of the channel, and they have a discount code for Good Morning Mechanic as well. I'll put a post out with all those discount codes. So it's pretty great. Um, hang on, I'm getting blown up here. Okay. So let's go. You know what? Before we even move on to number 8, I want to talk about Blue Dog Gamer what he brought up. So a portable battery operated air pump for tires. That is huge, absolutely huge. I can't tell you how many times I take one on every road trip, every single time. I have 2 styles. I have one that plugs into your cigarette lighter, so it plugs into your power adapter. I don't know if they call them cigarette lighters. I have an air pump that plugs into your power adapter inside your car. It also has an AC plug on it for 120. And then I also have one, it's a Milwaukee M12 or an M8, like a smaller one, air pump, an electric portable battery operated air pump. And I cannot tell you how many times it, I've been driving, my low tire light comes on, especially in the wintertime when it gets really cold in Northeast Ohio. You'll come out and you gotta have a flat tire, because the tire shrinks and it kind of breaks the bead a little bit, or it shrinks the seal on the actual Schrader valve. And next thing you know, you come out and you got a flat tire because it just got so cold overnight. Yeah, and that is 100% true. Thank you, Blue Dog Gamer, for saying that in the comments. If you're just joining us, we're going over the top 10 mechanic or car enthusiast gift ideas. If you have one, put it in the comments. Let's talk about it. So, number 7 was the Valvomax oil change kit. So we're moving on to number 8. Number 8, I have magnetic holders, magnetic bowls, magnetic. I have a wristband. I have bowls that I use to put my nuts and bolts in to stay organized. Those are really handy, especially if you if you're underneath a car and you're pulling something out, you don't want to lose it. Just get a magnetic bowl. I use OEM. and I can put a link. I'm gonna put a link in the bio of the full video that hopefully will come out tomorrow. Excuse me. Um, yeah, magnetic holders, magnetic tool holders, super handy. I also have magnetic socket uh, holders, and I'll put a picture of those in the full video, and they're really cool. They actually stick to the side of my toolbox, so it's kind of handy. So that's what I have, and they're not too expensive. Magnetic holders for number 8. Shout out to Frontier Coffee Company too, because I'm drinking their, I think it's the pecan whiskey, and that stuff is good. Um, all right, number 9, moving on, is a battery tester. And I'm not talking about just a multimeter, I'm talking about an actual battery tester that will test charge, that will test drain, that will, like, I have an older style one. It's very simple, it's made of metal. I hook it up to the battery, and then I can put a load on the battery, and I can see if the alternator is charging the battery while it's being drained. So that's super, super important. And it helps you diagnose whether you have a bad alternator, bad battery, and it helps you on the fly. So if you don't have a multimeter, or not a multimeter, if you don't have a code reader that can read the actual voltage, or even if your voltage regulator is off and your computer is getting like funky readings, um, excuse me, you if you use an um, analog style battery tester, which is what I use, you can't go wrong. It's going to give you live data. It's all analog, so there's no computer, there's no anything. It's just a metal box with a load, like it's basically a little heater on it. Creates a load on the battery, drains the battery while measuring the recharge. So super handy thing. Battery tester, not too expensive, and definitely something that you want to get a person who's a car enthusiast or just starting out, growing in their mechanic skill sets. It's it's a good thing. And then speaking of coffee, oh is that it says Arson? Hey, what's up, Danny? Hey, buddy. Hey, thanks for tuning in. So we're going over the top 10 mechanic gift ideas. So gift ideas for mechanic enthusiasts or uh, you know, car car mechanics, DIY mechanics, mobile mechanics just starting out. So it's you're coming at the end of the list, but I tell you, or towards the end, but I tell you, we'll do a quick recap. So it's pretty dope. So the very last thing I have, um, and it's something that nobody really thinks about, is coffee, which I think I'm addicted to coffee. I can't really start my day without a good cup of coffee. So, a coffee pot, a small coffee pot, or a coffee subscription, or just some sort of coffee, like good coffee that you can make in the morning. I used to have a coffee pot in my garage. So when, if I had people over, I just brew a cup of coffee in the garage, and it worked out really well. And actually, I just got a huge coffee pot to put back in the garage, and it's gonna be great. But I linked up Frontier Coffee Company. I want to give them a shout out again. So they actually have a Black Friday deal going on right now at the Frontier Coffee Company. And I'm trying to get a discount code from those guys. So if you're watching, Nate, get Good Morning Mechanic subscribers a discount code, my man. I'm almost done with my cup. So to recap for everybody who just hopped in, number 1 was a mechanic tool set. Let's see here. Yeah, yeah. I see Orson. Every guy could use a good creeper. I think every guy might actually be a good creeper. Uh, so, but yeah, just to recap over everything, the number 1 was a good mechanic tool set, uh, or a beginner mechanic tool set. And right now there are some crazy, crazy Black Friday deals at Home Depot, at Lowe's. I saw, I think it was Lowe's does like Craftsman, but Craftsman and Husky is Home Depot's stuff. They do they have basically like over a 200 part kit, and it's like $99 right now, and both of the kits are super nice. They have everything is organized, plastic organizers and a slot for every socket. So excuse me. So yeah, those there are some really good Black Friday deals right now. Milwaukee has some good sets out there. Even DeWalt has some good hand tool sets that are on just super discounts right now, and it's only getting better the closer we get to Black Friday. Number 2, we had, air impact tools. So the ratchets or the air impacts that go you know what I'm talking about. Let's see here. Uh, Black Friday at Home Depot and Lowe's is great. I got a DeWalt sliding compound miter saw for cheap. Yeah, yeah. If you can hold off uh, buying anything until Black Friday at Home Depot or Lowe's, like their Black Friday deals are literally crazy. Um, and I've looked it up too. They're legit deals. Some companies like to, they like to sneak up the prices until oh, okay. Is that a heart that I saw just pop up on the screen? What was that? A party thing? Anyway, so if I see another heart, okay. So I'm doing this on my computer, so it's different than when I did it on my phone. So yeah, if oh, I see another heart. Thank you for the likes and stuff. Um, so oh, more hearts coming in. Okay, thank you. Can I give you guys a heart back? I don't know. Let me see. There we go. Boom, done. So yeah, if you can hold off on buying stuff until Black Friday, you will absolutely get some of the best prices, best deals, um, in all year long, especially at Home Depot and especially at Lowe's. Yeah, it's good stuff. The air impacts, number two was number two, and I use I got a couple Orion air impacts. I have some Astro Tool air impacts. Those are really good brands, like really good brands. That's what I like. I don't have the next one that I want to get is the I forget what it's called. Thor Big Nasty. It's called Big Nasty. It's an Astro Tools air hammer. The problem with that is the air compressor that I have is not big enough for even that air hammer. I have a little air hammer, a little DeWalt one, but it's not powerful enough. It's not like Big Nasty. If you guys follow South Main Auto channel, that's like his go-to. And it is a wicked air hammer. So my number three was, or my number two was air tools, air impact tools. Saves a lot of time, saves a lot of effort. Just remember to break them loose with your hand first if you can, um, if it's possible, so that you're not snapping bolts because they can get pretty powerful. Number three was an air compressor to power those actual impact tools. So I use a small little portable. It's called a pancake style air compressor. It's just like I think it's Porter Gable. It's just a cheaper style, um, a cheaper air compressor, not a cheaper style. They've been making pancake air compressors for a long time, but they're all those pancake ones are basically the same. You're just paying for a name. Um, but if you are trying to do larger projects, if you're using an air hammer, if you use if you're using a die grinder at all, or any sort of air grinder, you have to get a bigger air compressor. Let's see here. Porter Gable is Harbor Freight, right? I don't know. I think they sell their products. Um, but I don't know, I can't remember where I got mine. It's been a long time. Um, Might have got mine online, but, I didn't get it off of from Harbor Freight, but, um, I don't use a whole lot of Porter, cable stuff, but I use their air compressor, and I think I have a couple nail guns from them. I had a Porter cable chainsaw that literally destroyed itself. So, I stopped using anything that, like that from them, but, haven't had a single issue with my air compressor, haven't had a knock on wood or plastic, um, but yeah, I don't know. It's weird. It's a weird brand. Let's see here. Harbor Freight has decent air compressors for cheap. They do. They do. Harbor Freight is, it depends on what you're getting. They used to have really cheap products that break all the time. I've heard recently that they're getting better and better. So, I don't know. I'm not sure. I've never been a huge fan of the Harbor Freight, but at the same time, I have shopped there. They do make good products, or they sell good products. My engine hoist is from Harbor Freight. Never had an issue, but it's a pretty simple thing. It's a bunch of steel and a hydraulic press. So that's basically how you gonna mess that up. Let's see here. I have one. Pretty sure it's from Harbor Freight. Okay. Pancake compressor is a pancake compressor. It works fine. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, it's outside of the brand. I mean, it's all those pancake cake compressors. They basically all work the same. You're paying for a name. I need one that stands up like a propane tank. That's exact. What are you doing? Where you need a bigger one like that? Um, Let me know what kind of work you're doing if you need help. And I just hopped off my coffee. Um, so all right, let's keep going. Number 4, I have, and Arson will like this. Number 4, I have a creeper and ramps. But I also have a jack and a jack stand, and then there's a bonus. So I have 4 ramps that I use in my garage, and I have a couple different styles of creeper, and it's it different. There's a million different styles of creepers out there. The best one is the one that works for you. So I have a smaller one that's really nice when I'm not trying to, lug my bigger one in and out of the garage, or if I'm doing a mobile mechanic job, and I know I'm gonna need a creeper, then I'll take the smaller one because it's way more portable, and that was a really good one. Um, but a creeper is definitely a necessity if you're gonna do DIY stuff in your garage and you have like a cold garage floor. Oh, it's a game changer. Also, I said jack. Then I use a Husky jack from Home Depot and never had an issue with it. Um, but again, Harbor Freight, their Daytona jacks are really good jacks, and they're half the price of a Snap-on, and they basically work the same. So I mean, it just depends on what you're looking for. But you definitely want a good jack, you want a good creeper, and don't cheap out on the uh, the jack stands, the T stands. Safety is a priority. And if you, I originally I got like these cheap little Durlast jack stands. I didn't even know they made jack stands. I got them from AutoZone, and they haven't failed me, but they're super dangerous because they have a handle on them, and if you just tap that handle, the whole thing could come crashing down. And we actually proved that in my little brother Kenny's garage, where I tapped it. He stood on it. We tapped it with a wrench, and he came like crashing down, like um, like one of those giant cedar trees, and it was wild. Like he came. And he's a big dude. So he came crashing down and just right to the concrete. And it was I just tapped that little handle and it was scary. I thought he broke his arm. It was crazy. Turns out he was just being soft. Um, and then so creeper, jacks, jack stands, ramps, and then number 4 bonus is actually a subscription to a DIY auto repair shop, like Wingman Garage is here in Northeast Ohio. They're the only one up in this area, and everything is easier when you have a jack stand. Everything is easier, or I'm sorry, when you have a lift. Everything is easier when you have somebody there to help you, and that's where that subscription to a DIY auto repair shop comes into play, especially Wingman, because he helps you. He's not just there to operate the shop. So that is the number 4. The bonus gift is a subscription to a DIY shop, where you have access to a lift, and somebody there to help you. Oh, it says here. Let's look at the comments. I need okay. Harbor horrible freight. I heard I heard it called. I've never heard it called horrible freight. But that's a funny name, and I'm sure they don't like that. So what you're saying is don't use those for the big girls. Yes, correct. Or any cars. Do not use the T stands that have a handle on them for anything, because if something falls on that handle, you could be underneath the car and a a broom could fall, hit that handle, and potentially drop a car onto you. So, yes, do not use T-stands with those release handles. I stopped using it. Now all of my T-stands, I have, it just has like a little tongue, inside it's like recessed inside the stand. So and they have a safety pin in them, so it's nice, way nicer, way safer. What do you guys have? Do you guys know if you have the one with the safety handle or the one with like a little safety tongue and pin in there? Number 5, I had work lights. So I had 3 different style of work lights that I use. Number 1, I have like a headlamp that goes across. I also have a normal headlamp, but I have one that goes across. It's not terribly bright, but it has a really wide band of light, and it works really well for what I need it. The other one I have it's like tethered to the roof of my garage, and I just pull it down with a cord, and it's again it's a different hue of light. It's not an LED, but it's really really handy, and you don't have to recharge it, and it's tethered. So when I'm done with it, I just pull the tether, and it goes all the way back up to the ceiling. So it's super nice. Um, And then, the next one, I have an Astro Tools magnetic light, and it's incredibly bright. I think it's like 10,000 lumens, but the issue is when you turn it up all the way, it drains battery really, really fast. So, it's not something that can last all day, like something that's plugged into the wall and tethered. Um, so a set of work lights is really good for any sort of mechanic. Oh, let's see here. Those floor lights that look like halogen lights are super bright and not too expensive this time of year. Yes, correct. They, and they're super handy. Actually, the garage, that Wingman garage that I go to, they have those floor lights lining the walls of the garage. So when you're up underneath the car, it's all the light is already there. So yeah, floor lights are super, super handy, especially if you have a lift in your garage. Um, yeah, you can't go wrong with a good set of floor lights. I used to have the magnetic ones, but they're more of like spotlights, and they're like the puck style lights, and they're really they're not they don't really spread the light. It's like a spotlight. And so getting a little puck light to get at the right angle to get where you need without falling off is it didn't really work out for me. So if you are new here, please say hi in the comments. I see we got a handful of watchers now. and we're just recapping everything. So make sure you say hi in the comments. Do me a favor, if you could like this video, it really helps the algorithm. Um, and then I figured out that you can hit if you hit the little icon with a heart, or there's a party one, or a smiley face, or like a normal weird face, it actually shows up on my screen. So make sure you do that too. Uh-oh, here we go. Bronchio 531. Can you recommend a first aid kit? Seems like I can't work on anything in the garage without busting knuckles. Okay. All right. So the first thing I'll say is instead of a first aid kit, they make these things. They call them gloves. In America, we call them gloves. And do I have some? Where are my gloves? So in I actually have uh, I have gloves with hard knuckles on them. Uh, so the I think mechanic makes like fingered gloves with foam, like hard foam inside the fingertips, so you won't bust your knuckles anymore. So if you definitely, Chris, get yourself a pair of gloves, good gloves, mechanic gloves. But if I can recommend any first aid kit, yes, I can show you. Actually, I can show you what I use in my garage. It's an Amazon special, and it's. Let me log in here, and I will show you. So, but that's a good question. It's definitely not top 10. Oh, let's see here. Get some Oakley combat gloves, Kevlar reinforced. So funny enough, that's actually what I have. I have they're green. So yes, they make very, very good gloves. Um, but I will show you. It is the first aid only. See if you can see this. This is what I have right here. So it's the first aid only 299 piece all purpose emergency set. It is $18.52 right now on Amazon. So yeah, super good deal. And and that's the exact kit that I have in my garage. So and we have definitely used it. And I used it when I sliced half my thumb off um, when I was working on some stuff. So yeah, yeah, it's a good kit, and so yeah, you're definitely gonna want a pair of gloves, and you're gonna want to get you that first aid kit. So it's super handy. Have you? Oh, let's see here. Have you ever used those liquid Band-Aid products? I have. I have, and I do. Um, so I use liquid skin whenever I have a significant cut. The problem with it is it doesn't mix with blood very well, so you have to make sure it's clean, dry, put together, liquid skin it, and you're good to go. So yes, I have used those liquid Band-Aid products, and they work good. So let's see here. Okay, so number 5, we had work lights. Number 6 for the best gifts for mechanics and auto enthusiasts is a code reader or a basically diagnostic tools. So code reader, I did a video a while back about the Innova 5610's code scanner, the bidirectional scanner, and that scanner itself is one of the best code scanners you can actually buy outside of the professional tablet style diagnostic tools. Excuse me. So, but you don't need something like that. Though that's like a $400 code scanner. You don't need a $400 code scanner if you're just DIYing stuff in your own garage. It does help if you're starting to get into more advanced diagnostics. But if you're just doing basic stuff, don't get a $400 code scan reader. Um, Innova makes less expensive code scan readers. They make ones that I think Bluetooth to your phone. And if you go back to that other video that I did, they actually gave us a discount code for Innova, and I can't remember if it was 10 or 20% off. But yeah, it's that discount code for the code scan readers is in that video. I can't pull it up right now. Well, I might be able to. Let me see if I can. But basically, that's what I recommend. I recommend the Innova products. They make really good products, and at the same time, uh, I'm trying to pull up the discount code. You can get 10 or 20% off of the code reader. Um, no matter what, no matter if it's the expensive one or a less expensive one, yeah, you get a pretty big discount. All right, let me see here. I think I have the discount code. Yep, it's GM Mechanic 10 for 10% off. So if you go over to Innova, the discount code, I'll put it in the chat. GM Mechanic 10. So yeah, head over there, get you a code scan reader because that is number 6 on my list, and 10% off for Good Morning Mechanic 10. All right, let me look at the comments. If you're new, please like this video. Please leave a comment, question, anything, and then hit the thumbs up or the heart. Let me. I can see it on my screen, so it's pretty exciting. All right. Comments. Have you ever used liquid? Okay, and then Bronco, Google Oakley Factory Pilot 2.0. Oh yeah, those are good gloves. Those are real good gloves. So if you're looking for good gloves, there they are. All right. Let's keep going. Number 6 was a code scan reader. Number 7 is the Valvomax oil change system. If you're doing all your oil changes, all your oil flushes, um, anything yourself, get the oil change system from Valvomax. I've been using Valvomax products for years, and I absolutely love their stuff. I got a video coming out um, showing the easiest way, hands down, the easiest way to actually change your oil, and it's using their Valvomax system. And I'm telling you, it is it is absolutely awesome. It's basically a little adapter that you replace. You replace your oil drain plug with this adapter, and then there's a hose that goes to a bag. And then instead of draining the oil like you would into a pan and then pouring the pan into a bucket and whatever you do, you just plug the hose into the adapter and it drains it into a bag. There's literally no splashing, no mess, no anything. And it's the easiest oil change I've ever done. So I've converted all of my vehicles to Valvomax oil change system. I I I will only use the Valvomax oil change system from now on. Um, and yeah, there's a whole video I did with Valvomax. They also gave the channel a this promo code. So for 15% off, it is just Good Morning Mechanic for 15% off of all Valvomax products. So they are a sponsor of the channel. Um, I'll put that in the comments too. Valvomax. There it is. So, yep. So that's the GM Mechanic 10 is for the code scan reader. That's 10% off. The Valvomax discount code is Good Morning Mechanic. That's for 15% off of all Valvomax products. So thank you to Valvomax. But I'm not kidding. I do use all their stuff, and I will only use their stuff on any of my vehicles. So yeah, check them out. It's a pretty sweet thing. The next one, the next one, the number 8, I have, magnetic holders, magnetic organizers, or just anything like that to help stay organized. I use the OEM, they have multicolored bowls. That's what I use. So when I'm underneath the car, I can, uh I can just put something in a magnetic bowl, and then it keeps everything organized. So, and if you're depending on where you're at, you can literally stick the bowl to the inside of the car or to the frame or somewhere like that. I also have a one to put on my wrist. I don't normally use that one because I when I'm up in an engine or messing around with the car, the things that are on it can actually bump into what I'm working on. So and it's a pain when my wrist gets, like Captain America, like sucked to the piece of metal because I'm wearing this thing on my wrist. So, but I do have it, and it's when I'm doing carpentry stuff or construction stuff. It's super handy to have. So, number 8, I had magnetic holders, magnetic organizers, magnetic bowls. The ones I use again, the brand is OEM, and I use them almost every time I'm doing something where I have multiple size bolts. So, next one is a battery tester. So I use an old metal style analog battery tester, and uh, for me it's way quicker than getting out the getting out the code reader because I can put a live load onto a battery, and then like it has a heater coil onto the. It's an old style metal battery tester. I have a heater coil, so I can actually drain the battery, put a load on the battery, and see how the battery's handling the load, but also the alternator, how powerful the alternator is, and it will tell you because there's a little gauge. It'll tell you if the alternator's bad, if the battery's bad, if the alternator's good but the battery's bad. Like it tells you all that stuff. So that's what I use. That's what I recommend if you're just getting started out. Use the an analog style battery tester. They're not that expensive and they're super handy. Um, and then the number 10, the last one, and I think some of you guys already saw this before, was the coffee and coffee pot. There's nothing better when you're working in a cold garage and having a nice cup of coffee. And sometimes just having it brewing in the garage, it just sets the tone. It's a good environment, feels good. It's right now, Frontier Coffee Company is having a Black Friday deal on their coffee. They have a whole Black Friday or a whole Christmas coffee blend that they've put out, so it's pretty solid. I recommend them, and that's actually what I was drinking today. So I was drinking their pecan whiskey coffee, not alcoholic, but no, it's super good. Um, so yeah, the number 10 thing was a coffee subscription or a coffee pot for that, so that they can have in their garage. So, and that's it. That wraps up the list. I want to say thank you to everybody that tuned in. Make sure you say hi in the comments if you're still here. And that's all I got. What do you guys think? What do you think of my list? Was it too on point? Not on point enough? Did I miss anything that you guys can think of? That's all we talked about. A battery powered air compressor for your car, for your tires. That was good. Gloves, a first aid kit. Those are all good. I might throw those on the list for this year, next year. Those are all solid. What do you guys think? I see there's still a couple people in here. What do you think? Give you guys a couple seconds. I think everybody else is dipped out. So, and we'll give it a few. Oh, I'm out of coffee. See? See, that's why I need more coffee. Um, but yeah, I'll give this a few more minutes or a couple more seconds, and I'll probably end this live stream. Thank you again for everybody who hopped in and who uh, who participated. I really appreciate you all. Um, all right, that's it. It's an hour. I'm gonna call it quits. Thanks for watching. As always, have a good morning. Oh, thanks, Ben. I appreciate you. Great list. I think it was. I missed a couple things, but it's all right. We all can't be as perfect like the Blue Dog Gamer, but we could try. We could try. So, all right, I'm hopping off here. Thank you for watching, and like I said before, have a good morning.